prison cell. This is a prison cell. Only kids are being held down here. And I can tell you exactly how. Come in. Remember, this whole thing is over the ceiling. There's a plastic tube chamber in here where the kids are going in and out. Shine my light. See a piece of wood, and it looks like that the wood gets slid down there, and the kids are crawling up. If you look down in there when they let them out, yeah. But there's different toys down there, little food bags. You can actually stick it pretty. And then that board's used to slide them up. The only way, because they're not going to reach down in there and grab them, so I guess they're having them slide up. This is all the way down there. A child's not going to be able to get out of here, a small child. And you're not going to hear them scream. They're enclosed. You're not going to see them from the sky. Our drone didn't pick this up. It just picked up a dirty tarp.
Alright, here it looks like wrist restraints on a tree. I don't know for the life of me what else those would be used for there. Right there, grape tree.
This is the main spot under the awning right there where those are. Those are slippers you made to tell you.
Where were those kids' toys you were showing?
They're in here. Yeah, different cribs.
I don't think you saw this. I already touched this.
Oh yeah, it's more Barbie dolls.
So bed, child's bed here.
There's a little mat. Yeah. Just when they let them out, when you see the underground tunnels, it's pretty sick. There's different cribs and different chairs and car seats scattered around this area. Different sizes of shoes of children. We come over here. So we're down here. We're off of the I-19 frontage road, Valencia I-19 exit. We're at an old cement plant. This is abandoned property. We're underground in a bunker that was built. And there's a little prison cell right over there behind you where the children are being held down in there. There's a swing and everything out there. And we believe that this place is going to be used again. I'm just going. If they don't know that we found it, then they're only using the spot. It's not an everyday thing. This is just a drop point. And I guarantee you there's probably more of these. They repeat these ideas, same as they do their tunnels. So now we have a starting point. We actually know what to look for, and they're creatures of habit, so we know where their target areas are. This is easily accessible off I-19 corridor. So all the human trafficking is going up through Tucson. This is a spot where you're going to be able to hide children. Literally, this whole thing is strictly for kids, from the swings to all the toys to the board that's down there, so kids have to crawl out that little prison cell to there's a little toilet over there with a child's vanity. You know, they did a lot to make the children comfortable while they're out here and try to make it almost like fun, so they're sick, twisted mind, and the children don't even really know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's creepy here, I'll give you that. I mean, there's no logical reason why this place would exist.
And this took time to build. This took a long time. They had to dig this out. So you see the shovels.
What's underneath there, Lewis?
It's just a reinforcement barrel.
Tonight, Vets for Child Rescue expose evil, and are technology monopolies making the internet an Orwellian dystopia? Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. For those of you who don't know, I start every one of these episodes by thanking every one of my subscribers. Without you guys, this channel just would not work, so thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't hit that button yet, please come here to this landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified, because as soon as information is made available to me, I make it available to you. Tonight, we're going to start a little differently. What you guys just saw was courtesy of Craig Sawyer and the Vets for Childrescue.org. I want to encourage everyone to go check out this site. And if you want to find a link, definitely go over to my Twitter here at Justin_Form. Now, I donate to them regularly. A part of my Patreon goes to their organization, and it's disturbing to look at the information that is being uncovered through what they're exposing, but it's heartening to know that there's people out there actually going into these situations and putting their lives on the line to expose the evil, this pedophilic, satanic, devilish things that are going on that we have to expose, because the more we shy away from this and the more we make it into a taboo subject, that's when it becomes a festering boil where it thrives. The people who want to hurt children expect us to not cover this subject, expect us not to shine a light on it. But I want you guys to help me shine a light. I just retweeted this right now, and I'll try to upload a video to Twitter, but for some reason my Twitter just doesn't seem to work for anything, because I'm sure when you expose the truth, that's when the social media and tech giants do not want you to continue to expose that truth. But I'm gonna do it the best I can. Come find me at Justin_formed on Justin Formed Talk, the official Twitter page. Retweet this, share this, make it loud, make it viral, and also go check out vets4 childrescue.org. So VETS childrescue.org. You go over there, you click that button, give them a donation. I make it a point to donate to an organization like this, because that to me makes a huge difference. And the work they're doing to expose this evil is the work we have to be supporting. Because just as Q has told us in the past that we have to shine a light on the darkness, and this is all a battle between good and evil. This is the light that needs to be shown the brightest, really. So please, you guys, help me in this effort, and definitely come over here if you guys want to retweet this, make this viral on Twitter, get this out far and wide. I'm actually going to post a video of what you saw in the first half, the first part of this video, on my Twitter page. I'm going to upload that video shortly hereafter. I'm going to maybe even make another edit to it and make it a little bit more digestible, because you only have like 2.5 minutes to post a video on Twitter. But you guys, please help me out here. I had to start with this because it's the most important thing. This is why we're here. It's not because of what Q says. I mean, I honestly, Q is an amazing source of information that we look to give us the inside scoop on what's going on. But he's given us, and they've given us so much that we can continue to carry this fight with or without a new post from Q, because this is the information that needs to get out there. It's got to be spread. It's got to be made viral. So you guys join the effort here. Come over to the Twitter page at Justin_formed. Help share this. Help shine a light. And that's pretty much it for that. Now we're going to talk about what the episode was going to cover primarily. And it's a new story that just came out here that brought up some very interesting questions when you look back at previous Q posts that are going to kind of give you an idea of what is going to end up happening in the future here, because everything was predicted. And what I like about, and I'm not a big fan of the Wall Street Journal, obviously, but what I like about the fact that they're actually able to write this article and to point this out, because it's so true. Sometimes this article should have been written like 5-10 years ago, to be quite frank. So the fact that they're finally come around to doing it, because there's so many people like you and me who are out there on the internet and exploring information outside of the mainstream media narrative, that's why the story has to be written. And the more we continue to expose it, just like with what you guys saw earlier in the video with what Vets for Child Rescue and Craig Sawyer and his team are doing, this is the most important story of our generation, because the internet is the new town square. It's the new area for free thought and free dialogue and free speech, right? But these individuals seem to not want to allow complete and total freedom. Now, obviously, there's got to be securities and safeties written into these types of things. And I'm not making the suggestion that having rules and regulations is wrong. I'm making the suggestion that what they're doing in their overreach and over censorship is going to eventually come back to kind of bite them in the you-know-what, because there's no other alternative for people who are just trying to express free speech on the internet, right? And when they monopolize these things so heavily, they're gonna get broken up. So a great example, just starting from the order that we have here, let's say, right? Uh, Look at what Q posts, and this is going to be very relevant. Now it's December 22nd, 2017, and Q's giving us basically like an early Christmas present here. And he says, the AN0N up here is posting saying missile technology guidance capability is SpaceX tech, and it's via Obama possibly. And he's asking Q basically if Elon Musk and the SpaceX technology was turned over somehow through the special access programs that Hillary Clinton and her servers, and through other means, not just those, hypothetically, allegedly, were turned over to China. And that's where they've gotten the advanced missile guidance technology, and they've gotten all these advanced capabilities that are basically making them equivalent and equal in certain aspects to us, even though, we have a much higher budget and much more. It would seem that they're, by taking our basic technology, they're being given an equal playing field, which who's to say whether that's right or wrong, other than to say that from my perspective, it doesn't seem right, and it doesn't seem that it was done properly or with anyone's consent here in America, because we didn't elect people to sell our secrets to our enemies. And that's where I'll leave that. But the question here that Q poses back is very interesting. Why has Elon Musk provided big worldwide subsidies? No subsidies equals what? Clown contribution in exchange for access code? Why relevant? Amazon Echo, Google Home, clown contributions, Apple Face ID tech, Facebook Face ID tech, catching on, bombs away Q. So Q is warning us all the way back in December that what we're facing right now is literally a technological takeover that the globalist elites are trying to perpetrate against us by monopolizing the internet. And if you don't believe me, just watch, and we're going to go through this, but they're not just monopolizing the internet, they're monopolizing the technology of the internet. The new technology, all of these things that could be really used to help humanity, they're monopolizing them and trying to monetize them and then turn them into something that they can control fully, so that they can ultimately decide and make all of the decisions that they want to with regard to what you think and what you do and how you act. So first we'll start with this story here, and it's basically been widely reported as of Tuesday of last week. And what it's saying is that Amazon the Echo had actually secretly recorded a family's conversation and sent it to a random person on their contact list. Isn't that wonderful? Because that's what I want when I put. Who knows? The one thing I want to point out, which I wish I'd pointed this out at the beginning, before I go further into this. We'll see what kind of quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes here, technological difficulties I have in uploading this video when they realize what I'm talking about. See, that's the thing. When it's about this kind of information, who knows? I'll go to upload a video, and then all of a sudden it's got like white noise and static, and you can't hear me. And I hope that's not the case. I pray that's not the case. I'm not being ultra conspiratorial or dogmatic about this stuff, but I can tell you right now that I've made enough videos to understand that when you talk about certain things, they just completely, I don't know. The technology doesn't work. I'm not saying that there's anybody doing it. Maybe it's the AI. Maybe it's like Skynet and the computers have taken over. But whatever it is, it seems to happen regularly. So I'm just going to throw that out there, because if you guys see technical difficulties and glitches and stuff, you'll know that it's because we're covering topics that nobody wants to talk about this. Why would they? They don't want to talk about the truth. They don't want to talk about the reality of the situation. But that's why we're here. We're here to talk about the truth. So you have Amazon basically secretly recording you. And everybody knows that, when you put the microphone in your house, I got my cell phone somewhere around here. I have a microphone I'm speaking into. I understand that these things can all be activated, even when the technology looks like it's off. They can mimic the thing to make it look like it's off, and then it's always going to record what you say. There's a reason why when I'm talking about things with friends and family, I open my Facebook app and all of a sudden there's advertisements for that, or I open this and there's an advertisement for something I was just talking about. It's not a coincidence, and I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not like some sort of paranoid person who's making this up. This is widely reported. This is not like something that they even deny. They tell you, yes. Oh, well, I mean, because think about it. The mic has to be on all the time. If every time you say Alexa or whatever, that your computer is going to turn on, or this little computer that you have is going to turn on, and it's going to basically give you, oh, what can I help you with? As I was listening to you for the last however long you've had me plugged in. So we know that. We know Amazon Echo is listening to us. And then you have Google Home is also recording everything. This is a report from bgr.com out of or from October 11, 2017, talking about how the Google Home Mini is caught recording everything and sending all the data to Google. Yeah, of course, because if you sign the agreements that they put forth, the agreement's even right in there. Well, can we use some of this data to make our product better? And you're like, yeah, why not? I want to help Google get better, right? Meanwhile, Google's sitting there, counting the stacks of $100,000 and millions of dollars as they're selling all that information to advertisers because, yes, you're making Google better, right? You're helping them monetize the data better. And that's all the internet is. That's all it has become. The internet started as this basically worldwide connective net. But what we didn't realize, I think, is that net that we were making to connect us all would eventually rise above us and become a sort of cage to hold us all in. And the more quickly we realize that, the more effectively we'll be able to stop that. Now, going into what is Facebook doing with your facial recognition? Well, they're doing what they're. See, we've all talked about how Facebook and China are kind of connected, but they're connected in the sense that they're working toward the same goal. The Chinese are doing it. Maybe the Chinese are doing it for much more strict communistic purposes, but the social progressives in this country are definitely wanting to have a more of a dragnet type secure, take away every gun and facial recognize everyone and take away your right to privacy, take away your Fourth Amendment. These are things that they openly advocate for, in the sense that if they're not openly advocating for it directly, they're openly advocating for it indirectly. So by suggesting to do certain things, they would thereby basically subjugate articles of the Constitution to being meaningless, right? So that's what the push is for. And then they take all this information, they aggregate it. They'll give you a little number that they keep in their little metadata. It's not just the NSA anymore. See, because the NSA was the first one. They aggregated everything and they put it all into metadata, and they have it searchable like a Google file before Google started doing it. And then all of a sudden Google and Facebook and all them who were helping them do it went, you know what, why don't we start doing it? Because that's a great idea. We'll write it in the contract so that when we have our updated agreements that you have to sign every few months, we'll write into it slowly but surely that eventually all your data is belongs to them, because that's the agreement of service. They're providing you with Google, which is the biggest and best search engine in the world. In return, you get all your data taken and sold to advertisers. What's unfortunate, though, is that now Google has been like hijacked by these ultra left-leaning people who seem to think it's a good idea to skew the search results, to ban contradicting thought ideologies, and then to be participants to a degree in helping malign those in a slanderous way. I mean, that's the best way I could describe it. I can't give you an exact example, but I can tell you that from my experience, in my opinion, I'm not saying that this has actually happened in any particular case that I can reference right here, but it would seem that is the practice being done by certain individuals inside of an organization such as Google, but there is no proof to verify any of those accusations as of yet, besides to say that let's just examine what Face ID is, because getting outside of the realm of the point of what I'm trying to lay out here, the point of what I'm trying to say is that regardless of whether or not these companies or corporations are intentionally trying to do it or indirectly responsible for certain things, that is besides the point. The point is it's happening. And if you're inside of one of those organizations, I certainly encourage you to take a few seconds and think, what do I want my future to be like? Because when you allow this to happen to those that you dislike, so say you don't agree with somebody, and let's say you're working at an institution that would censor somebody with a dissenting opinion to yours, and you think to yourself, well, I don't like that guy. They shouldn't have the First Amendment right to speak and to compete in a fair market and make money for their contributions. Okay, well, that's fine, but then you have to, like Alan Dershowitz said on Fox News the other day, and Alan Dershowitz is a Democrat. He's not even really a Republican. And he said, you have to pass the shoe on the other foot contest. Or the shoe on the other foot marker test. If I put the shoe on the other foot and I said to you, your favorite YouTube creator is shut down, or your favorite news outlet is shut down, or your favorite whatever website, blog, whatever is not available because I've deemed it to be this, that, or the other. That is completely outside of the constitutional freedom of free speech and free ability to compete and freely in the economic sphere. So you guys let me know what you think about all that. And is this the death of middle America and the shopping malls and all of this stuff? Has the internet really come in as the monopoly that it is to destroy everything that we've kind of built in the brick and mortar sense? I mean, this happens over time. The digital era has continuously made certain things obsolete through time. I mean, look at what Walmart's done to middle America and the Main Avenue, and mom and pop shops. The malls that started in like the 70s now have basically faded because everything you do is basically online. If you're trying to get something, you want it specific. Now, the one thing I think that malls will never be replaced in their entirety is because people always want to touch things. They want to hold it. They want to feel it. It's just a human thing that we all want to do. So I don't know if they'll ever actually fully go away. And I suggest to people, I'm not financial advice, obviously, but if this is happening in your area of the country or your section and you have the means to purchase commercial property and try to revive it, do it. Think outside the box. Become an entrepreneur. And that's how we fight this more overtly than anything else. If we're trying to fight the technological takeover of America through their monopolies and all of the things that they do, we have to fight it in a grassroots sense where we start at our own homes and we start our own businesses and we take the money that we have and we invest it into growing local economies and to growing commerce in our area. That's the way we defeat this globalist scheme to destroy our country from within, by imploding it, by taking these monolithic megaliths of corporations and making them into transnational, non specifically based corporations that can skirt and avoid different tax laws by moving their headquarters from this country to that country. What we should do is we should focus on prosperity here at home and focus on making prosperity here at home. So I encourage everybody to get involved locally to do that. But you can see here, there are many articles out there you can find. Should the U.S. break up Amazon? Yes, of course, in my opinion, but I don't know that that's what's going to happen. I'm just telling you that in my opinion, it would make sense as they've become the largest monopoly. The U.S. Secretary of Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, has already called, as of what was it, a week ago, for Google to be investigated as a monopoly. And this is a serious thing because Google has so many large holdings and they have such a stranglehold grip over the internet that it needs to be examined further. And I hope that this makes it to possibly the Supreme Court and there's actually a ruling made against or for liberty. I guess you would say for liberty against Google. I don't know. But that's, and I don't want to talk bad about Google because, they do make everything that we basically use here. But let's be quite honest. Even the people at Google have to be thinking to themselves, I mean, besides the top CEOs who make, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and whatnot, maybe millions, they have to be thinking to themselves, can't we have a fair, spread out, equal market where it's not just this monolithic structure? This picture says it's worth 1,000 words, really, because it was talking about here, Amazon, Facebook, and Google may be repeating history of steel, utility, rail, and telegraph. And like if you have it, you have like the Carnegie, you have the Rockefeller, you have the other large monopolies inside of America that we busted a long time ago and got rid of. And it may come time that we have to do that again. Also with Facebook, they're too big to delete. A lot of people don't even end up deleting their Facebook. They say they will and they end not. But that's not their fault because it's the only way to communicate. It's like going on and using your email, but it's a better way to use email with your friends, right? And we all know Facebook was basically LifeLog, which was a DARPA project that ended the same day that Facebook began. And you have here where Apple is getting government backing to squelch monopoly decisions. So they're working with the government to get rid of these monopoly decisions against them, while at the same time working with China to give the keys to their encryption. But here's an interesting thing. We've talked about Solicitor General Noel Francisco as being one of the people who was in line to become maybe another Attorney General if certain set of circumstances were to happen. But he's the one who is actually filing that the Supreme Court should accept review of the case and then reverse the Ninth Circuit's decision, which was that the plaintiffs have standing to sue for competitive harm in the app market. And this whole lawsuit that we're talking about here, that Apple is getting government backing to squelch, is a lawsuit against Apple regarding people who were basically duped into paying more or getting overcharged by the apps that they bought through the Apple Store. And that the whole lawsuit basically alleges that Apple didn't do enough to have oversight of those applications to know that people were getting ripped off by the applications who were overcharging for simple things that other apps would charge a lot less for, and they were promoting apps that people would buy and they were whatever, right? But the principle I think that applies here, which I think to me kind of limits the validity behind this lawsuit, is that like you don't want to target the gun store for selling a gun that some idiot maniac lunatic goes out and makes a crime with or commits a crime with. So it's the same principle. I think Apple's just trying to sell apps, but then there is also their due diligence to know what they're selling. It's like you can't let somebody in the same example, if we want to go and keep it in the same lane, if you owned a gun store, you have to ensure the quality of your product. You can't sell somebody a defective firearm that when they first shoot it explodes in their face. That would be another example of the balance that you have to make in these certain things. So that is certainly something I really encourage each and every one of you to just stay on top of this and let me know what you think in the comments, because that would make all the difference in the world. Now, another thing I want to talk about real quick before we wrap it up here, Q. Will he be back? Well, May 22nd at 4:30 Eastern Time. 10 days from then will be today, June 1st, at 4:30 Eastern Time. So if you guys are going to go watch or try to get involved or know where to go, I know I said in the last video it would be today, which technically I guess it is, but it's today at 4:30 if the 10-day rule is in effect. If not, who knows when Q will be back. But like I said, we have months, if not years, of information to cover in just what Q has posted. So you guys stay tuned. The content's not going to stop, and I hope you guys continue to enjoy these episodes. But that's going to be it for me. I want to say thank you for watching. If you're looking for a way to support the channel, the easiest way to do it, it's free to you. It's like throwing me a buck. Is to come over here. If you have not hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified. The second best way to help is scroll down at the end of this video and leave your thoughts, theories, and insights in the comments, because that is going to make all the difference in the world, because we try to have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos. So if you guys want to get involved there and leave your thoughts, theories, and whatever you have to contribute, we have a great dialogue going on down there always. And even if you don't have anything to contribute in the comments, scroll down and read through the comments. I'm pretty sure you're going to learn something you didn't know previous to this video. Now, another thing I wanted to encourage everyone to do is go back and watch my latest videos if you want to get caught up on what's going on with Q, and the even more previous ones to get caught up on all the Q posts before we get more Q coming in. But if you want to red pill people and you want to spread the information and you want to make this all go viral, please come here in my landing page and share this video with people. That just share it on your Facebook feed, share it on your Twitter feed, go over and do whatever you have to get this information out there so that you can red pill people to what QAnon is. It's a great introductory video for those who don't know. And it's great for people who already know, because the video in itself has a lot of tools and research tools. So if you guys want to get more involved and you're not sure where to go, what websites to visit, where the information actually exists, that's a great video for you to watch. You're going to learn all that information and more. So I encourage you all to come here and share that video and watch it for yourselves if you haven't already. Now, if you're looking for another way to support financially, this is really, truly the best way to do it. Come over here to patreon.com. That's patreon.com. You can search Just Informed Talk. It'll bring you here to this landing page, and you hit this button to become a patron. You can come check out my rewards, come check out my goals. But I can tell you right now that, like I've said in this whole video, the censorship that is real on the internet. And Patreon is a great way for people like me who create content to know that we can always continue to create content freely without being subject to the censorship rules and the thought police that exist out there. So when you guys come here and make even the smallest of contributions on a monthly basis, all that does is help keep this channel going. And I just hope that each and every one of you come here and check out this page. And for some people, a couple bucks a month, $5, $10, $20 a month, it's a lot of money. But for some of you, it's not. So if you can help and contribute, I'd really appreciate it. If you can't, I totally understand. And I'm always going to put this content up for free. And I'm never going to have a paywall. I'm never going to have anybody to put a layer between us where you can't see my information. I'm just going to put it up there, but I'm going to put it out there that every cent that you guys contribute helps. And I thank you in advance for everybody who comes over to Patreon, patreon.com, and contributes to the channel. Don't forget that 10% of everything I get over here is going to go to organizations like Vets for Child Rescue, which I think is a good cause and a noble cause. And we have to continue this fight. So that's going to be it, except for the one thing, which is the most important thing. And what is the most important thing, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. The most important thing is God and God's grace and how God loves you and his grace is greater. And what I want to point out is a certain verse that touched me when I read it. And it just, when you get your fill of this emotion that is God's love and this ability to understand what God's love is for that brief second where you have this clarity, even though God's love is the clearest thing there is. It's always a struggle for us as humans to seek God's love, to seek God's guidance, to seek God's wisdom, and to remember that we are debtors and we are just flesh. So let's read Romans chapter 8, verses 12 through 17. And I can't tell you how true these words resonate to me when it just comes to understanding what we are as individuals and what God is to us as individuals. So it goes, brothers and sisters, we are debtors, not to the flesh, to living according to the flesh. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if the spirit you put to death the deeds of the body, you will live. For all who are led by the Spirit of God are children of God. For you did not receive a spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you have received a spirit of adoption. When we cry, Abba, Father, it is that very Spirit bearing witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ, if in fact we suffer with him, so that we may also be glorified with him. This is the word of the Lord. So it's quite simple. We're all debtors. We're all living by the flesh of God if we want to live a full and decent and good life. We're living by the flesh we receive through communion in Christ and the blood of Christ that we receive there as well. We're living through these things because they are what continue to make us humble. They make us abide in God. They make us thankful. They make us know that we are blessed. But ultimately, they make us know that we suffer with him so that we may also be glorified with him. And what does that statement mean? Well, it means that the sacrifice Christ made for our sins is an example. It's a living lesson that we should all take so many cues from in our daily life. If you think about it, when we suffer adversity, when we're confronted with trials, when we're in the midst of tribulations, we have to know that God is there for us. We have to know that what God did by sending his son to die on the cross for our sins, it was the ultimate sacrifice. And the pain and suffering that happened then was meant to help alleviate the pain and suffering that we have now. But you can only tap into that by seeking God, by abiding in God, by praying to God, by seeking his guidance and courage and strength and wisdom on a daily basis through prayer and through devotion and through fellowship. These are the principles that I think we need to teach our generations today that they're forgetting. Parents seem to be just happy with allowing their children to live a godless life. Children seem to be happy with not abiding in God, and society at large seems to be okay with mocking and deriding the teachings and the principles of the Bible and God. And I'm not saying that to say that everyone does that, but I mean, there's a huge majority that are growing that are atheists, they're agnostic, they don't believe in God, they don't present God in a favorable manner. And then not only that, you compound that with the portion of people who are just openly worshiping Satan. It's insane, but it's true. I've seen videos, unfortunately, I've tried not to watch the whole things, but of very well-known actors on cable TV shows doing satanic rituals and then treating it like it was a joke. I don't find that funny at all. And if you're wondering what I'm referring to, just look up Will Ferrell on the Chris Gethard show doing satanic ritual, and you'll pull up a video that you'll see. They even talk about how it's a satanic ritual, and they laugh about it, and they think it's funny. But that's the evil we're up against. That's the level of ungodliness we're up against. That's what is infiltrating our minds, and not just our minds, but our children's minds. So we have to be aware and cognizant, and we have to just support one another, and we have to love one another. And there is no room in this whole movement, not just the QAnon movement, but the movement of bringing the truth to the surface, shining light on darkness, and fighting evil with good. We have to realize that this is a part of the battle. So that's going to be it for me tonight. I hope you guys take away this one thing. God loves you. Open your heart to Jesus. Say a prayer. Bring the fire and light of Jesus in your heart, and then become a beacon and shine like a glorious lighthouse out to the world, a beacon of light to the world, to show them that you love God, and that if they just love God, they'll have all the blessings in the world, and that regardless of whether they love God or not, that we're going to be Christians and love those who are the meekest and who are the least, because that is what's going to separate us from them, not just here on earth, but in the eternal afterlife. So I hope you guys take that away. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, now is a great time to do it. Come here to this landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. But that's going to be it for me. Again, I want to say thank you for watching. This has been Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. God bless, and Godspeed to all you patriots.